Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Gabby Thomas and the USADA do not particularly have a great relationship. After all, the Olympian still cannot forget how she was banned from competing back in May 2020. And the reason? Apparently, she missed 3 tests in 12 months. But as per Thomas, she was pretty much present at the locations that she claimed to be in. Back then, the Olympic gold medalist might have had a bitter experience with DRG testing, and now she strictly wants USADA to eliminate those resorting to illicit practices. In a recent Instagram story, Thomas spoke about the issue of doping affecting the track and field realm worldwide. Thomas was pretty clear in her stand. She stated that anybody, whether it was an athlete or a coach, who is found guilty of doping must be banned. The Olympian stated, "Doping. Coaches should be banned for life from coaching in the sport, whether you were banned while competing as an athlete or caught distributing as a coach." For some, both IDC, and she also targeted athletes who were training under controversial coaches. Thomas stated that an athlete must refrain from getting coached by someone who has a record of doping in the past. She added that doing so will only make the concerned athlete complicit. If you train under a coach who is known for doping once, twice, or even 3 times, for some, you are complicit. That's my stance, Thomas wrote in her story. Surely, such a strict stance shows the integrity and honesty that the Olympic champion brings to the table. Gabby Thomas is no stranger to speaking her mind. The Harvard-educated sprinter, Olympian, and world-class competitor has built her reputation not only on blazing speed down the 200-meter curve, but also on her willingness to address the bigger picture beyond the stopwatch. Known for her poise and intelligence, Thomas has always used her platform to raise awareness, whether about racial injustice, representation in sports, or the science of performance. But recently, she made a striking admission that sent ripples through the track and field world. In a candid interview, Gabby Thomas didn't talk about her training schedule, her rivals, or even her medal goals. Instead, she tackled what she believes is the biggest issue: ruining the sport. An issue so damaging, she insisted it should be banned. The spark behind her outburst: it all began after yet another Diamond League meet ended in controversy. A stunning upset in the women's sprint was overshadowed not by performance, but by external factors, equipment, regulations, and what Gabby Thomas described as a playing field that isn't as level as it should be. Her comments were sharp, thoughtful, and laced with frustration. "We spend our entire lives training for hundreds of a second," Thomas said, "but then we allow things into the sport that make it less about athletic ability and more about external advantages. It's not fair. It should be banned." Though she didn't single out one element, insiders and fans quickly pieced together that she was referring to a combination of super shoes, pacing lights, and inconsistent doping controls, all of which have become hot-button issues in track and field. Super shoes, a shortcut to greatness. One of the most obvious targets of her frustration has been the technological wave of super shoes. In the last 5 years, advanced footwear with carbon plates and foam technology has radically altered distance running, and even sprinters have begun to feel the ripple effects. When you can drop a full second off your time just by putting on a pair of shoes, it stops being about the athlete and starts being about the equipment. Gabby admitted, "That's not the sport I signed up for." Her words hit hard because track and field has always prided itself on purity. Man or woman versus stopwatch, body versus limits. To Thomas, these innovations blur that line. She didn't dismiss technological progress altogether, but argued that the reliance on equipment shifts focus away from human excellence. If I want to be remembered, I want it to be because of what I did, not what I wore on my feet. The pacemaking controversy. Then there's the rise of wave light technology, a pacing system, using flashing lights around the track to guide runners toward record times. For Gabby Thomas, this innovation cheapens the artistry of racing. Track and field is not supposed to be a video game, she said. It's supposed to be competition, it's strategy, it's instinct, it's grit. But when you follow a flashing light, you remove all of that. It turns history making into a choreographed performance. Her frustration reflects what many traditionalists feel, that pacemaking tools create an artificial atmosphere where records are manufactured instead of earned through organic tactical races. I don't want kids growing up thinking this is normal. Records should mean something. They should come from raw competition, not a pre-programmed light show. The shadow of doping. And then there's the elephant in the room. Doping. For Gabby, it's not just about whether athletes are cheating, but about the inconsistencies in how rules are enforced. We've seen athletes get banned for the smallest infractions while others skate by, despite repeated red flags. She admitted that double standard destroys trust. And once you lose trust, you lose fans. If we want people to believe in us again, we have to clean it up completely. Her call was clear: stricter enforcement, more transparency, and zero tolerance. In her view, it's not enough to catch a handful of athletes. It's about restoring integrity. Thomas's admission landed like a thunderclap because she isn't a fringe athlete shouting for attention. She's a two-time Olympic medalist, a global star, and someone fans and peers respect deeply. Her words don't come from bitterness. They come from a genuine desire to protect a sport she loves. Social media immediately lit up with debates. Gabby's right. Super shoes are ruining track. Ban them. Without wave light, half of these world records wouldn't exist. She's just telling the truth. If someone like Gabby is speaking out, then world athletics better listen. Some critics pushed back, accusing her of resisting progress. But most saw her comments as a necessary wake-up call. The athlete's perspective, more than just words. What makes Gabby's stance powerful is her ability to connect the issue to her personal journey. As someone who juggles elite athletics with a background in public health and science, she frames the debate in a way that bridges both intellect and emotion. We train 8 hours a day, sacrifice our bodies, our social lives, everything for the purity of competition. If that competition is compromised, then what are we even doing? She admitted that there are days she wonders whether track and field is moving in a direction where athletes won't be judged by their character or preparation, but by how well they adapt to external variables. That's not sustainable. That's not inspiring. Fans rally behind her honesty. What stood out most was the fan response. Instead of seeing her comments as controversial, many embraced her honesty. For years, fans have grumbled that track and field lacks outspoken stars who challenge the system. Gabby Thomas has become that voice. One fan summed it up perfectly. We've needed someone like Gabby to say this out loud. She's fighting for the soul of the sport, a bold vision for the future. So, what does Gabby Thomas want? Not just bans, but a realignment of priorities. Banned equipment that provides disproportionate advantages. Restrict artificial pacing systems. Tighten and standardize doping enforcement worldwide. Bring the focus back to the athletes, not the technology, not the drama. Her vision is simple but powerful. A sport where the stopwatch reflects only human potential. I love track and field. It gave me purpose. It gave me joy. It gave me a platform. But I also want to leave it better than I found it. And that starts by speaking out, even if it makes people uncomfortable. Conclusion. Gabby's defining stand. In the end, Gabby Thomas's strong admission wasn't just about shoes, lights, or regulations. It was about safeguarding the integrity of track and field. In her eyes, the sport is at a crossroads. Either embrace gimmicks and controversies that erode its core or fight for the purity that made it beloved in the first place. By declaring that the biggest issue should be banned, Gabby didn't just call for change. She challenged her peers, the governing bodies, and the fans to ask themselves what kind of sport they truly want to see. For Gabby Thomas, the answer is clear. Track and field should remain what it has always been at its best. Human excellence against time. Raw, honest, and inspiring. Gabby Thomas, Olympic medalist, Harvard graduate, and one of the fastest women alive, sent shockwaves through the world of track and field this week. Not with her lightning speed, but with her words. In an unexpected press conference following her gold medal win at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Thomas took the podium, eyes blazing with purpose. While fans were eager to hear about her 21.56-second 200-meter dash, the fastest of season, they got something very different. If we don't protect this sport now, it won't be worth winning in 5 years, Thomas began. I'm calling for a global ban on the biggest threats to our integrity. And it's not just doping. The track world and social media erupted. Gabby's rise, more than just speed. To understand the gravity of Gabby Thomas's words, you have to understand who she is. Born in Georgia and raised in Massachusetts, Thomas has always been different. Not just fast, fierce. A double threat in brains and brawn. She graduated from Harvard with a degree in neurobiology before earning a master's in epidemiology at the University of Texas. In a sport often obsessed with time, Thomas plays the long game. After a bronze medal in the 200-meter at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and silver at the 2022 Worlds, many wrote her off behind household names like Sha'Carri Richardson and Shericka Jackson. But Gabby trained quietly, obsessively, rebuilding her form and mental game. When she blazed to gold this week, beating a heavily favored field, it wasn't just a win. It was a statement. The shock, what she wants banned. Thomas didn't mince words. We're not talking about it enough. The biggest threats today are threefold: synthetic tech enhancements, federations turning a blind eye to gray zone drugs, and AI-assisted training that skirts ethical lines. I'm not afraid to say it, ban them. Let's break that down. 1. Synthetic enhancements, the super spikes and beyond. In the last 5 years, track shoes have evolved beyond recognition. Super spikes, with carbon plates and foam technologies, have helped break record after record, but not without controversy. It's not a level playing field when one athlete has a $25,000 prototype shoe and the other stuck with last year's model. Thomas argued, we have to draw the line between innovation and performance inflation. Her claim? Major brands are secretly developing gear that not only aids energy return but alters muscle feedback via embedded nanotech. A claim insiders say isn't far-fetched. One anonymous brand rep countered, if we don't push innovation, someone else will. But Gabby's not wrong. Regulations haven't caught up. 2. The gray zone drug epidemic. Thomas also leveled criticism at what she calls shadow doping, the use of substances that are technically legal but manipulate biological markers or enhance recovery in ways traditional testing doesn't catch. If it walks like a PED and recovers you like one, it is one, she said. This includes microdosing synthetic hormones, experimental peptides, and metabolite inhibitors designed to leave no trace. Gabby pointed fingers not just at athletes, but at national federations, claiming some countries are institutionalizing this edge. Fans gasped when she added, without naming names, you know who you are. You've never been injured. Never miss a meet. Always run like machines. We see you. 3. AI coaching, when algorithms cheat. Perhaps the most controversial was her call to regulate AI-driven training systems. In recent years, some elite athletes have started using AI to simulate opponents. generate race models, and predict optimal stride patterns in real time. Sounds like smart training, right? Thomas disagrees.